Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. Hey, Carol, Kathy, and Nancy, how are you this morning? I am so excited to be here this morning. I had a little bit of vertigo yesterday, and it's still a little bit here still, but I'm going to back up. It looks like I have a little bit of sunlight coming through. Hey, Sue. How are you? So I have so many things to talk to you about today. I want to make sure I cover everything. So, brand new art today. If you are brand new here, I would really appreciate it if you follow me and like me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you need to follow and like Corbiere-Scott Designs. Make sure you put designs in there. I have two Facebook accounts, and the other one is for my family, my big fat Catholic family. So if you would please make sure that it's Corbiere-Scott Designs. And my art printables are available at Corbiere-ScottDesigns.com, and that's where you sign up and register for classes. And then once you are registered, good morning, Keels. Please ask to join Let's Get Artsy with Corbiere-Scott. And that is our private Facebook group where we do all kinds of fun stuff. Share our artwork, share our, I don't know, I shared my new knives. It's just a girlfriend place. Or a boy, if a boy wants to join, they are more than welcome to. Hey, Debbie from Seattle. How is Seattle this morning? Is the sun shining? Is it rainy? Is it gloomy? Or a combination of all? Well, welcome, Debbie, and anyone else who is brand new here. We are just a kind group of artsy people who like to hang out a couple times a week. And then, hey, Sharon. So I have these pop-in paint parties 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock. And then, so this weekend is Super Bowl Sunday. So I came up with this idea of a project that we could all do together without being together. So keep watching. I'll be posting, I'm still working on the printable, but then keep watching for details about that. So it'll take place on Sunday, but you can add to it, and then we'll talk about it on Tuesday. Casa Grande. Oh, is it? Well, you probably have sunshine today too, huh? Because you guys got some cool weather last week, didn't you? Hey, Nancy. So I hope that everybody will keep watching for my Super Bowl group activity. It'll be just something fun and artsy that we can do, and you can put it in your art journal if you want. You can do whatever you want with it. It'll just be a fun thing to do together. I wanted to talk about the 100-day project. I hope that everybody's participating in that if they choose. I've been trying to post my 100 a new artist every day. I've been listening to a new artist every day, and then somehow documenting it. So my last two were Marvin Gaye, who we listened to the other day, and then yesterday was Bob Dylan. That was fun. He sings his what do they call it? His body of work is just unbelievably big and quite varied. So if you get the chance, you might just say, "Hey Alexa." I'm not going to say that because then it's going to change. But hey Alexa, play Classical Focus. That's what I play when we're here together. But I will choose my artist later today, and then I will document it and post it on my social media. And remember, it can be whatever you want it to be. Don't put any kind of crazy pressure on yourself. It's just supposed to be fun, and it will stretch your creative muscle. Every time I've done it, I have grown well, you know what I mean. I can't say that word this morning. Who knows why? Anyway, so be sure to check that out. I have upcoming classes, and all of my classes are ongoing. Whimsical lettering and Let's Get Artsy with Our Bible. Those are a monthly fee. You pay each month to participate, but you can participate with any of them. You can join any of them anytime. If you really liked November's Let's Get Artsy with Our Bibles, if it's on my website, you can sign up for it and you can participate in it. And so, and I check into those groups, and so, you know what? You can ask questions, you can share your work. That's funny, Nancy. I know that she has very hyper-focused hearing, doesn't she? Inspire Your Heart with Art. That is an ongoing class. That's a 3-month class. You're going to sign up for that and participate for 3 months. But you can, if you didn't join in January, you can join now. You'll still have access to all 3 months. You'll still be able to participate. You'll still be able to have all the conversations and all the artsy fun. So just know that. Let's see. Oh, only registered participants are allowed in the private Facebook groups. So I just need to make sure that I put that out there, because some people were trying to join and they didn't register, and that's not fair to the people who did. And so just so you know, okay? So let's get on to today's brand new artwork. It is the Keely. So Keely's all about love, and so, you know, I thought, how appropriate. So I printed it off on 2 kinds of paper this morning. I did watercolor paper and I did white cardstock. But I printed them both off on my laser printer. So just for your information, so you know. So I'm feeling like I want to create with both of them to just try some different techniques. So I created them with enough space that you could cut it like a card front, right? Or you could fussy cut them. I kind of am liking this. This is kind of fun for me to draw 4 different images. You know, I just have to mix it up for myself all the time. I'm not going away from my original premise. Okay, if you have inkjet, Shauna, so you're going to print it and then you're going to heat set it. You can heat set it in a couple of different ways. You can heat set it with your heat tool, or you can heat set it with your iron. You're going to flip it over onto some paper towels, and then maybe put a paper towel on the back and then iron it. And then I would let that sit for quite a while so that really cures. But if you're not using any kind of watercolor techniques, you're fine. It's not going to move. Inkjet is just, it will move with water, and the black lines will move with water. So we need to be kind of careful with that. So I had a couple of ideas. Okay, so it will take water. So, okay, so Shauna, the watercolor paper I use is called, well, I use 2. And do you think I have that other piece of paper? No. So here are the 2 watercolor papers I run through my printers. Northwoods. And it's from, hey, Mary. Okay, Northwoods, and then Canson, also it has XL series 90-pound watercolor paper, and I've run both of them through my printer. So and this one you can get at your local scrapbook store, your local, where are you, Shauna? Tell me again. And Canson I found on Amazon. I hate sending people there, but that's where I found it. This one is between $11 and $13 for 25 sheets. This one is $26 for 100 sheets. So I've been really trying to, like, I just was introduced to this one, and so I've been trying to use it. Okay, so Amazon's your friend, Shauna. So this is much more inexpensive, the Canson. So that's the one that I'm using today. So I just feel like I really want to put it through its paces and use it enough that I have a good feel for it. So you might give either one of those a try, because it's very thin. You probably can't see what but it's very thin watercolor paper. It still has a little bit of tooth, but not big texture like watercolor paper. Do you know what I'm saying? But it still has the, you can still get that watercolor feel, and techniques work with this watercolor paper. Oh, I got some happy mail yesterday from Miss Nancy. Look at this beautiful Japanese lantern that she painted and sent to me. I just love it. And she said that she sent it in November, and it went back to her, and then she resent it. Isn't that the funniest? I will tell you that that Tessa had the same thing happen. Not as fibrous. No, not, it's much thinner, Linda. Scraps of Love sells it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. 140 pound will not go through, but 90, give that a try. It will go through. And if you have, you could take your 140 pound to like a printer and ask them to print. But I would invest in the, if you're able, I would invest in the, good morning, Aunt Mer, in the Canson or the Northwoods, and I think you'll be happy. It will, Carol. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say it will, but most likely it will run through your... Anyway, look at this beautiful card from Nancy. I just love it. Okay, so I'm going to start with the one that I printed on just... Oh, good, Carmen. Awesome. So I am going to start on the one that I put through on regular cardstock. And I wanted to teach you something that I do. So when watercolor paper comes, it is 9 by 12 most of the time. And so you always cut off these little strips, right? So you have to cut off the strip for the length and the width. And so I save these because I like to use them as testers, right? So this morning I tested some markers because I really wanted to play with some markers this morning. And I have all kinds of water-based markers. These are just a few, but since we're doing something kind of Valentine-y, so I have a distress marker, Candied Apple. I have Tombow. So here's Candied Apple. Here's 725. Here's 815, and here is number 2 red. So I thought that would be a fun, you know, you don't have to keep this forever, but I like to have a reference when I'm working. And so let's start. Let's pick the pink one. So here's what I was, so you know, a Tombow has the big brush end and a bullet. And the bullet is kind of small, but it will be perfect for the purpose that I'm thinking. So I'm just going to start to do some pointillism, right? I'm going to be dense up close to the letters, up close to the modern bubble letters that we, there you go, Arteza, there you go. Don't stress, golly. This is like for fun, right? So if you took my whimsical lettering class last month, or if you would like to, the alphabet that I drew is each month you'll get a brand new hand-drawn alphabet from me, and last month was modern bubble lettering, and this is a version of that. So I really wanted the word love to be prominent, obviously, and so I am doing some stippling work with the bullet tip of my marker. So just know that you can do this technique with anything, really. You're just going to have your dots be denser and closer next to the lines, right? And then you're just going to fade them out. Hey, Lenora. So here's the thing, Shauna. I don't want you to ever feel like you can't create with whatever you have. I'm not here to shame anybody into having like the best materials, the best art supplies, whatever. I'm just here to encourage you to create. So if you have Crayola markers, you can do this. If you have rose art markers, you can do this. You can do it with whatever. You could do it with, it works best with a marker because a marker makes a nice, pretty consistent dot. Oh my gosh. So you're not stressed. Oh, good. I don't want you to be stressed. You should never be stressed when you're making art with me. I want you to just be relaxed and just kind of getting into your zone. So you don't necessarily, so if you don't have markers at all, you could totally do this with watercolors. You could just do it with the end of your paintbrush, right? So you could just create dots with that, right? You could just dip that in your paint and paint like that. You could do it with colored pencils. You might have to, so with colored pencils, you might have to like create dots. Do you know what I mean? Like a little circle, circle, circle. But you can certainly do the same thing. You could do it with a red ballpoint pen. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you have. I just want you to make art with me. That's the most important thing. And then we'll have ourselves some time. Oh, a stylus. That would be good too. So, let's continue with our dots. I just feel like this is... my music is a little loud, sorry. This is just an interesting technique that is quite effective for creating depth, right? Because you're just going to slowly create that beautiful shadowy gradation into highlights, right? That's fun. I mean, and here's the thing. You do monochromatic. You could just use this color, or you could use two colors. You could mix two colors and see what happens there. That's kind of a fun exercise too. To do pointillism, and that's what this is. Some call it stippling. But to do it with two colors, that's really fun because then you kind of get some color mixing. And that's fun. That's cool. So a couple of things that you could do. So I'm going to continue to do some stippling pointillism all the way around. Right? My L. My loopy, scripty L. And I'm going to, so I did quite close to, can you guys see, sorry, can you see what I'm doing here? And then I'm just going to kind of fan out. So today, I think today's artist is going to be the Bee Gees because, shut up, I love the Bee Gees. I just love them, and I'm just kind of in the mood. That's for sure. Okay, so we want our dots to just get further and further apart, right? I just love the Bee Gees. Has anybody watched that special on HBO about them? Oh gosh, it's so good. I would just tell you, something about their music just moves me. I remember when Shelley O'Leary, my very good friend from my childhood, who often pops in here, she and I would sit on her bed or my bed and listen to Saturday Night Fever over and over and over again. Do you remember, if you're old enough, you'll remember the practice of listening to an album back and front, back and front, back and front. Oh, we knew all the words to all the songs, and then we would like write out the lyrics and then artistically interpret them. I'm giving you a big glimpse into my childhood. Okay, so there's this, right? So let's see, what else could we do? So that was with 725. So we can cut this like a card front, right? We could certainly color in the lettering. We could do some more stippling from the edge of the heart in. I think that might take from the coolness factor of this, but you could certainly, oh my gosh, you know what? So funny, Keely. So I have a friend, AKA Tessa, who is doing the 100-day project too, but she's a youngster. So she's listening to albums because people don't listen to entire albums anymore. They listen to songs because that's kind of how we get our music, right? We can buy individual songs from iTunes or whatever. But it's rare that people listen to an entire album. So she said she wanted to listen to entire albums. And so Saturday Night Fever was one of the ones I recommended to her because I said, you will totally get a feel for the time if you listen to Saturday Night Fever. I also said, me too, Renee. We still have our turntable and all of our vinyl. And you know what's so fascinating? I'm much more of a music aficionado than Jeff. he listens to it, but it's not as, you know, deep and meaningful to him. But he, we have a lot of the same albums, which is kind of fascinating. So this one I created because I wanted it to look like a knitted heart, which I thought would be fun. And so I'm feeling like we could do that same, oh my gosh, I have 45s too. And can I tell you, I remember our 45s, my mom had this crock that I don't know what it was originally used for, but it was the perfect size for 45s, and we would just stack them in there. Do you remember like saving up your money to go buy 145? I mean, albums were like a Christmas present. First album I ever got, Who by Number. Fabulous. Still love it. And then 8-tracks. Remember those? Made my poor family, I made them listen to Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, all the way up north and all the way back home. And it was like hours. So they all learned all the words to that album too. Okay, so what I was thinking about for the knitted one, I want to create depth in this one too. And so I was thinking we could combine some, we could combine the techniques. We could combine watercolors and markers. So I wanted to, where's my water? Here's my thought. If I take this red and I put it down here, then I'm going to see what it's the closest to. I feel like it's probably the closest to the Marvy, don't you think? So I'm feeling like let's create a washy, watercolor background, and this is on just regular cardstock. So remember, I'm gonna not have the wiggle room that I would on watercolor paper. Watercolor paper, I don't have to be as quick with my color application, and I don't have to, like this, I'm having to really kind of work quick to get my base coverage, right? But the sweater heart, I feel like it leaves lots of room for lots of depth and dimension. Okay, so I'm just gonna put like a base color of red on it and just leave it. And then this faceted heart, that just seems like, oh, like the creative applications on that seem like, come on, we can just go to town. So I'm gonna take this pink and see how it goes with this pink. The opera pink and that 725 look like they would work really well together. So let's do the same thing. So don't throw those little strips away. Become a hoarder like me. I'm just kidding. So let's just take some of this, a watery wash of opera pink from my Josie's, or you know, whatever pink you have. Remember, you can make art with whatever. Just find colors that complement each other, right? And work with what you have. So like this one, I printed, like I said, I printed on just regular cardstock so that you could see that you can do the same techniques on whatever substrate you have. If all you have is copy paper, then do it on copy paper. It's going to get wrinkly, but then you can iron it. There we go. All right. So this one, we're gonna let that dry too. Hi Teresa, how are you? We are painting on our brand new Keely art printable. And yes, it is named after our very own Keely, who's right here. And you can read all about her. You can read all about her on the in the description. So this one, I feel like I really want to add some color. So I'm going to use to those flowers. Well, I'm honored that you're my friend, sister. I'm going to try a smaller brush because the flowers are kind of small, but I just want to get like a base of watercolor and then enhance with colored pencils afterward. So let's see, let's get some blue maybe. Where's my little squirty? Can you see that I'm there? I just put drops of water on the tops of my watercolors to kind of prime those watercolors, get them started, activate that color, and then I'm going to just put a little bit of watercolor on here. Solomon, you gotta just lay down for a minute. Honestly. All right, I'm coming. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm coming. Honest to Pete. So sorry. Well, Nance, isn't that the criteria of being here? Is that you should be love and you should be gracious and loving to everyone. I believe. Okay, so let's see. Where was I? Before Solomon so rudely interrupted us. Silly dog. Let's do yellow petals on this one. Hey Marcy, how are you? Let's see. So this is coming out pretty dark, this orange. So I feel like I want to tap it off because I really like it a waterier wash of color first. But just remember, like, you don't have the same like lag time in between color, yeah, see, not much comes off when you tap it on regular cardstock. So just kind of remember that. Take a little pink, let's make a pink rose. Tap it off. Well, we got a little bit lighter that time, but I went in right away. I think that makes a difference. So now green, let's do some of our leaves and just the greenery. Can everybody see what I'm doing? My hand in the way. I haven't decided what color I want to paint the heart. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Keely and I are about the same age, and so our musical taste is very similar. Like she went to see she was doing a mixed media piece once, and we were talking about like what she should name it, or what she wanted to put some kind of text in there. So then we started talking about song lyrics, and her husband suggested lyrics from an America song, and I was like, oh my gosh, there is a reason that we are connected, because I just love America, Sister Golden Hair. Oh, telling you. But it was the Tin Man. Shut up, so pretty. I just love that song. Okay, so let's come in here with some purple, and then let's make a purple flower. How's that? Ta-da! Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. I just love, oh my gosh. They were just brilliant songwriters. I wonder if did they write their own songs? The Bee Gees certainly did. And in that HBO documentary, they really talk about their process, and it was just kind of fascinating. Just fascinating. Like they wrote a lot of their songs right in the studio. Oh, caffeine is very important. That's for sure. That's for sure. So let's try. I really like when we mix I like mixing this yellow and orange together to get this really kind of creamy orange. I'm loving that. So I think so now we can come back over here. Everything else should be quite dry. So we'll go back to our little tester strip. So we're going to use the Marvy. Where is it? Here. So I feel like I'm going to do some more of that stippling to create. So down here, there would be stippling, right? Because this is a dark area. We're just going to add some down here and here to get some depth. And up here, because then that's where it like gets tucked under the next stitch. But I really like that tone on tone build. Seriously, so pretty. Hi, Becky Davis. How are you? So we're going to remember, just like this, we're going to come in with like quite dense dots down here, and then we're just going to work our way out to them being further and further apart. And that's going to add some color depth, but also some depth, that the appearance of more depth that kind of tricks your eye. Right? Because the painting is still flat. But with the addition of color, we can trick the eye into seeing something more dimensional. Right? So I haven't used markers in a while, so I felt like this was a fun fun addition to our process that we've been, like we normally just watercolor and use colored pencils. So I thought it would be fun to use something else from my stash. So markers were it this morning. And because these are water soluble, you can certainly move this color with water. But because we're doing it on cardstock, I would be careful because cardstock, like I said, doesn't have as much wiggle room as watercolor paper. So is anyone else doing the 100-day challenge? Nancy, I think you said you were practicing your lettering, right? Every day. That's good. That's fun. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm loving it so much. So we could also come in, let's see what this, so these are the two colors we're using. No, entirely too dark, but let's try scarlet. That's kind of nice. So we could come in with some scarlet and just barely in those corners. Oh, look what I just did. Well, I guess I'm fussy cutting that one. But so you can come in with your colored pencils, and I'm telling you, I am barely touching the corner. I'm barely touching the paper with my pencil, and I'm just ever so slightly adding color, right? So I'm doing that circle blend, and I'm just barely touching, but this is going to create a really nice dimension. Like it actually looks like yarn is just tucked in behind it. You know, so here's another crazy thing about my life. Because I am a child of the 60s and 70s, my mom took us to, I remember very vividly, learning to meditate, to do TM, Transcendental Meditation. I'm trying to think how old I was, because my sister and my brother also went, but they were quite young. I was like maybe early junior high. Anyway, I remember like having to bring a offering for the Maharishi. Oh, sure. And I remember we brought grape tomatoes. Like it didn't have to be like money or anything. It was just an offering. And I will tell you, I continue to practice TM almost every day of my life. It has such a calming effect. Meditation has such a positive effect on my life. Does that help, Nance? Can you see what I did? Okay. So we're just like, remember, it's just like everything that I do, Nance. It's just a slow build of color, right? So we're just going to slowly build that color. So that's slow, barely touching the paper. And remember, do you see how dull, how it's not pointy at all. It's a nice worn down end of my pencil. That is blending bliss. Like it doesn't, a pointy one kind of is like fighting for attention. That's how I think of it. A blending one is like, I am just kind and gentle and I just want to be part of the group. So the blunt end is like, I just want to blend in with these other beautiful colors. So we could certainly highlight with white if we wanted. I would do it quite sparingly, but you could, certainly. Okay, so that's that. How are we doing on time? Seriously, I just keep blabbing away. So we have like 15 minutes. Okay. So for this one, I think I said I was going to use the 725. So we could come in with the brush tip and just do the corner. And then we could try and move it a little bit with some water, right? That's nice. Because because it's so faceted, this heart, we're going to be able to do lots of shading and shadowing and dimension work, right? So we're just going to add a little color and then move it out just a little bit. And then we could certainly do some pointillism on top of that, right? We could certainly enhance it with that. And this is just that jiggy-jaggy back and forth, softening the edge of the deeper color blend. Tap your brush in your water, tap it off on your paper. We're just barely putting a little color on there and then moving it with water. But do you see how just the addition of that little bit is already creating kind of that jewel, faceted jewel look, and that's kind of what I was going for. That's in my way. Am I still within camera range? Okay, there. And all of the like brush strokes, that's just going to add to the interest of, you know, visual interest of the piece, because that stuff will just become an enhancement as we color along, right? It's just going to, you just got to work quick because I'm on cardstock, right? I don't have, like I said, I don't have that wiggle room that I would with watercolor paper. And then just make sure you feather that out with your brush as you go along. Stop it, look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. Oh, you know what? I have that embossing folder that I used for, I think maybe the Patricia art printable that looks like a sweater background. Shut it. That would be so pretty in the background of that. I think it would just kind of enhance it all. Don't you love when you're just like, oh, and I could use this and that? You just start to, your brain just kind of thinks of all the possibilities. And I just, you know, think about this as like just kind of a warm-up. You're just warming up your artsy brain, just like you'd stretch if you were doing yoga or any kind of sport, even going on a walk. You're going to stretch. Well, this is kind of stretching your creative muscle. I hope that everybody will join me in our Super Bowl Sunday artsy project. I just want to take a minute. This one, look, I blopped water, so this one's going to be a fussy cut one too. Oh, you know what? I don't know. Laura, where do you do your mindfulness? Where do you do it? Did you learn it locally? Or did you, I don't know. I know that the Franciscan Renewal Center here in the Valley, they I think they have a TM group. But you know, during this crazy time, who knows what's available and what people can participate in. I don't know. You know, it's a crazy time, isn't it? Nothing is as it should be. Although, well, this is as it should be, I guess, right? We are as we should be. But I bet you there might be, I mean, I know this sounds crazy, Nance, but I bet you could find something on YouTube for mindful meditation. No, I don't think so, because we're all in different time zones, Keels. I just thought that I would create something and we could check into the Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs Facebook and share. I will just try and put my thought was, I mean, can you tell it's still percolating in my brain? But my thought is to have us, like, I will put the basic stuff out there. Do you know what I mean? Like the basic, the printable and some of my thoughts and ideas, and then we can just all create during the Super Bowl and then share either the next day or afterward that day, whatever you choose, whenever you have the time. I've just found meditation to be the most helpful. Haven't you, Laura? Like, it really helps me calm my noggin, which needs to be calmed quite often. I'm so grateful to my mom for introducing that to us, you know. I know my sister does. My sister does, she practices TM too. On the regular, as the kids say. Okay, so now I've done that, and I'm really feeling like that's totally enhancing. But let's see if I come in and do some dot work. If that, oh, shut it. Oh, I'm loving that too. Do I like it, or do I want to smush it out with my pen, with my brush? Kind of soften it. Kind of liking that. So it's kind of blurry polka dots. That's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. This is really deepening the dimension, I think. Mm-hmm. Oh, you guys, I'm loving this. So my idea was, because we're all different time zones, Keels, I was feeling like if I put it out on Saturday, maybe, or today or tomorrow, I don't know. Just kind of keep a watch on the website, or excuse me, on the Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs Facebook page. I thought I could put the stuff out there, and then we can create sort of together, because we'll all be watching the Super Bowl, because, you know, even if you're not a football fan, you're gonna watch for those commercials. And then I had some painty things that I thought we could do together. I had some lettery things that I thought we could do together, some doodly things that we could do together. I don't know. I'm still kind of formulating a plan. It's percolating in my noggin. But I just thought it would be a fun thing to do, right? So I hope that we only did regular cardstock today. We didn't even pull out the watercolor one. I hope that everybody is painting and coloring and you know, is hey Carol, is doing some mindful creating this morning. Some just, you know, a creative what did I say? Warm-up exercise. So remember to please follow me at Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We try to add new stuff to those things all the time. And then once you've liked and followed me on these platforms, please ask to join Let's Get Artsy with Corbiere-Scott. It's a private Facebook group where we just share all kinds of fun stuff. More coloring, more color, more lettering, more all kinds of loot. I hope that everybody is ready to have an amazing Thursday, a tremendous Thursday. And if you haven't already, go out and purchase the Keely. It's my brand new art printable dedicated to my lovely friendship with Keels. I hope that everybody has a great day. I am so grateful to everyone for joining. I will try and make some cards with all of this art that I've created. Here's the art that I created with the artist in residence the other day. Still not made into cards. I have a plan. I just need a little moment. You know, the business of a business is not as fun as just drawing. That's for sure. So have an amazing weekend. I'll probably see you. I'll see you all on Super Bowl Sunday for sure. I'll check in and create along with you. And then next week we will work with the Keely again on Tuesday. And then I don't know what we'll do on Thursday. Guess it depends what kind of floats my boat on Thursday or Wednesday or whatever. And then next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday is our Let's Get Artsy Together Apart artist study series. So we will be introducing a new artist and we will explore that artist's style and the movement that they were in, and then we will be inspired by that and create some art in our art journal. So I hope that everybody joins that too, because that's super fun. I adore you all. I'm so grateful that you join me and just grow this friendship, this creative friendship. I just love it. Have an amazing day, and I will see you. Well, I'll see you this weekend for sure. Talk to you soon. Bye.